Hi, I'm Dean DeMarzo.
And I'm Tori DeMarzo.
And you're listening to Relatively in Tune, where we talk to creative people and the people close to them. Today, our guests are Dan Kiernan, who is a wonderful singer, songwriter, performer from New York City, contestant on The Voice this past season, and he is joined by his cousins, Lindsay and Samantha. Why don't the two of you introduce yourselves?
Three of you.
It's always two people. I'm so confused.
My name is Dan Kiernan. I'm a singer-songwriter from New York. And these are my two cousins. They're sisters, but I also call them affectionately my sisters.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, Dan's cousin. And I'm Samantha, Dan's cousin as well.
They also have cousin privilege, and they do call me Danny, so you can say Danny. It's okay today.
Okay.
I can tell you're trying to do
Dan, not Danny.
Also, not you saying Samantha.
I know. I call her Sammy.
Danny, Sammy, you know.
Yeah.
That's how she is. She won't answer to Victoria, even though that's very
I
much
hate
her
it.
name.
I don't, honestly, like your mom the other day, we had to go to like the hospital last year and they were like, oh, Victoria. And then your mom's like, why are you getting up? And I'm like, because that's my name. You've known me for 12 years. Like, she's like, oh, I forgot. Sorry.
It doesn't come up often. So I would love to know more of your whole story, Dan. I know you were a contestant on The Voice this past year, season 27. You were a singer you do wedding bands, that kind of like cover band gig, which is something I've done a ton of as well. So I love that world. I know that world. I want to know more about how you got into that and how you got where you are now.
Yeah. So I sang all my life. I went to school for musical theater. I studied theater in high school and college. And then my lore kind of starts around 22. My first job out of college, I leaped off a set piece and the other set piece did not come in time. And the reactions, and I shattered my left knee, like ACL, meniscus, torn, kneecap, floating. I had a 2-year recovery. And in that recovery, I started teaching and really focusing more on my voice because it was all I could do at the time. And it just really kind of led me back to music. And my first jobs back after that time off were cruise ship gigs. Nice. And I worked for a German cruise line so I went to Germany, started on this cruise line, got my heart broken, and someone was like, you should write a song about your heartbreak. And then the cruise company started letting me perform the original songs on the ship.
Ooh.
Wow.
So this random German cruise line is kind of responsible for everything that's happening because it kind of reconnected me with like the pop star I used to pretend to be with them when I was little. So it kind of inverted my path, and that kind of led to music. And I was like, oh, this is what I've always wanted to do. I just wanted to sing my own music. So, it was Dan Kiernan in concert, and I was like, oh, that's the gig. So yeah,
that's amazing. So I did cruise ships for a year right after college. I was in like a dance cover band playing 70s and 80s tunes on guitar. I know on my ship there was like, you had the dance band, you had the Broadway act, you had the pianist in the schooner bar, you had the acoustic guy in the pub. Were you playing guitar and singing? What was your role?
Yeah, I was in like the production cast. So I was doing, we were doing like, we had a full German musical where I sang in German.
Did you know German before this?
No. And they were really big on like, everyone just like do your best. Like the audiences will love it if you just do your best. And the first time we did the show, I was like, did my best. And we were at the bar that night to the show. And like several German families were like, you're great. However, your German is horrible.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But we did like a Rolling Stone show. We did a Eurythmics show. And we actually did a show that was like Aida. The company was called Aida. It was Aida Stars, and they modeled it after American Idol and The Voice, where you had like a package that they filmed of us, and then you sang.
That's some
like,
weird foreshadowing there.
I know.
That's amazing.
So you got home and then what happened?
I was like, I want to do music. And I remember I like came out to my family as a musician. I was like, I have to tell you guys something. Like, I think I'm a star and I think I can't go back to musical theater open calls. So it's like, I think like music is the gig and I want to do my own shows. I want to produce my own things. I just want to sing. I want to make my whole living off my voice and I want to get on The Voice. I came home in like 2018 and like every picture was hashtag like get Dan to The Voice. Like I was like, we're going to make this happen. Because I felt like starting a little later in life, I was like, that would be a great way to get that next platform.
And you had such clarity of purpose to know that. That's great to have such a clear goal. That's something we talk about a lot.
It was like being like a kid again, where I was rehearsing for the solo show on the ship. I remember I had like the set list on the floor, in-ears that weren't plugged in, a rehearsal mic. And I was like, this is what we used to do. Like, I remember texting them, like, in my garage, in my bedroom. I'm like, everything I've done has been fun, but I'm like, this is what it's supposed to be. So, yeah, I started doing cover bands, all different types of, like, wedding gigs, whatever gigs paid the bills. And, yeah, that just became, like, the full-time gig.
We talked to a few other people from The Voice, and it seems like everybody who's been on has a different way of getting an audition. There was somebody who got reached out to, and then there was another person who did it the traditional, send a video recording of yourself in. So what was your story getting on?
I did get scouted. So in like 2018, okay, actually my first lore was that a friend of a friend had an agent. Also, I'm supposed to look here, right? I feel like I'm looking at myself.
Wherever.
The green light. My friend had an agent. I like mentioned I want to get on The Voice, and she was like, she mainly manages like children, but I think she has connections to NBC. So I was like, you got to get me in the room. Like, I think I'm supposed to be on The Voice. I went in, and they were like, it's just, you're not fully polished there just yet. I feel like you're just on the cusp of your artist journey. And I was like, honestly, you're not wrong. Like, I did just start. In 2023 is when I got the first email that someone had found me online, and they were like, we'd love for you to kind of cut the line, basically. You can submit some videos that would kind of advance you right to the callbacks, and then whatever. So I remember telling them, because we have a group chat called Between the Mouths, which we can talk about later why it's called that. But I was like, guys, The Voice found me. Like, this is it. I recorded these videos, sent it in, and then a week later they were like, no, thank you. So I was like, guys, change plans. It's not happening. So, and then I got really focused. I produced a festival for queer artists in the city, and really just kind of
Yes, I saw that.
I just kind of dove into my other stuff. And then November of 2024, right? No, 2023, I got an email.
Yeah,
because before then. And they were like, we want you to submit again. And I remember saying to them, like, I think I'm going to say no. Like, they're not into me. That's not it. Whatever. And then I was like literally typing out, no, thank you. And then I was like, what if this is the time and I say no? So I was like, I'll just do it. I went to my friend's studio, recorded the callback videos, and then it was like a week later I had the interview, and then it was just a really crazy quick process.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's so cool. It's different with everybody. Like, it's a very, very different process. And I think it happened with Darius. He got recruited too. And then there was
And then Lily
sent the video traditional. Yeah. So
I actually got the call that I was on the show. We were actually all together.
Oh.
random country. Very random.
Tell us about that moment, the two of you.
Well, but first, so our grandma passed away, and then I found out I was pregnant January 31st, and then 2 weeks later, we were in El Salvador.
And when we were saying goodbye to our grandmother, we got lore, honey. When we were saying goodbye to our grandma, she was like, she had watched my videos, and she was like, this is going to be the time. This is it. You're going to get it. It's going to change your life. And like, said to Lindsay, like, the baby's coming. Don't worry. And then, she passed Christmas, and then
the next
she worked quick for us in January. She
wow.
did pulling us strings up there.
And everyone's like, oh, it's just your, not just your grandma, but, grandmas are older. We're like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, we were super close with her. Like, she held the family together. So,
wow.
we think she had a part in it. But.
Definitely. So we were in El Salvador because our uncle retired to El Salvador to smoke weed and surf and live out his life in El Salvador.
Sounds like a good time.
We're like, picture a family of like 25, like matching t-shirts in the airport. Like, that's us rolling up to El Salvador.
Oh no.
Nice.
We're really into like the laying into like the cringe family stuff. But like we're in on the joke, but we're aware
it's fun. It's fun for a reason.
So fun. I'm so jealous. I'm not part of a big family at all, so that sounds so fun. And you should
come join us on our next
Please do. Like, I know that you became friends with Kelsey this way, and now I'm gonna try my shot at being your friend and being part of your family. So,
but so we were in El Salvador. Quite literally the middle of nowhere.
But you weren't even going to pay for phone service, right?
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to disconnect. Because I had gotten an email like 2 weeks before that was like, can you fill out one more form? And this one was like, if we did bring you, like, what do you think you'd sing? Like, it was very like pointed. Like, what would be your airport? And I was like, guys, I think this might be it. So then for like 2 weeks, I was refreshed. Like, I have a cardiologist now. I was so stressed. I was like refreshing my email every single day waiting for this to come in. And then, we got to El Salvador the first day, and I was like, guys, I think I'm just going to disconnect. We knew she was pregnant. We were like, let's just try to relax. We, like, drank all day by the pool, and then...
I was going to say.
And then at dinner, I was sitting next to her, and I had stopped drinking randomly. I was like, I feel like I need to be level-headed for some reason.
I'm like, weird, but okay.
And then I looked down at my phone, and it was LA, and I was like,
he looked at me and he was like, I think this is them. And I was like, how do you know? He's like, I just have a weird feeling. Like, come with me. I need to get out of the noise.
Yanked her from the
I was
table.
like, okay.
And then there's a video on my social media because she was smart. The young ones, they know what to do. Started recording me. Yeah, and we got the call.
Quality, but we did get the video.
So there's like a great video of both of us like freaking out. I'm like, I got it. And then like she comes out and then. So
I was so excited. I ran into a guy who was cutting a coconut like with a large knife. I'm like, excuse me, out of my way. Like, out of my way.
And then we started telling the whole town about Salvador.
Don't tell anybody, but.
And then the next day they were like, by the way, like you can't tell anybody. We were like,
whoops. Whatever.
We're like walking through the streets, like, guys, by the way, and I don't know.
Never mind.
That was crazy.
I was just kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
So then you went, right? And we were talking to Darius. He had said that they were recording the other season while you guys were also auditioning, right?
Oh, I know Darius gave you some good tea.
He did. He shared a lot.
There was some in there, yeah. But I still want to hear your perspective as well.
I mean, it was like summer camp. It was like, so both seasons filmed at the same time. So I think there was around 200 voice contestants in a fully open and functioning hotel. So people were on a family vacation in Burbank, and then there'd be like 10 people like jamming to Valerie in the corner of the pool, like in guitar. You know, it was like
wow.
It was like adult summer camp, but it was crazy. It was crazy. It was like going back to summer camp, but with people who were like you, and we're all going after the same thing. You know, it was crazy. I was really lucky to make some like lifelong best friends. Like my second day, whoever I was in the van with that first day, we were like, okay, great. And we were like, we're going to go through this together.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's so fun. I would have loved to do that, I think, in my lifetime.
Oh, yeah. It's a good time. It made it a lot less stressful. It really was just like fun summer camp. And then we're like, you know, filming all the B-roll and the interviews. Everything is just very like, this is crazy. We're wearing cool outfits. And then all of a sudden one day it's like, we have to sing today. We have to actually...
Yeah. You have to do something,
It's a lot of weeks of pretending it's that day, like filming the walk to the stage, filming the interview, the photo shoots, and then all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, a chair will turn or not turn today, you know?
Yeah. What's it like with your family? Because you guys were at the audition, right? How did that work?
So they, pretty early on, once I got cast on the show, they had wanted my mom for sure, because a lot of storylines about my dad, and then my brother works in like HVAC, real like man of the earth, man, like just like couldn't get the time off, and also like love him to death, but he's not, you know, he's not a performer. And I was like, my sisters, what do you guys think? Would you be able to come? Like, it's a long. You have to commit to. What was it? A week?
It was, I think, almost 2.
Yeah,
almost 10 days we had to commit to, blocked off. Yeah, or maybe a week.
And it just kind of worked out good. My brother couldn't get the time off. Lindsay was then 6 months pregnant.
Yeah, and it was like, I was allowed to fly, but my doctor was like, it's across the country, you know? So I was like...
It just worked out perfect. We were like, all right, Mom and Sammy, let's do it. And she also was my dad's goddaughter, so I feel like it was really good juju to have, but I mean, speak on that. They were good to commit to 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, right when he told me I'm a teacher, so I was like, I'm free. It's the summer. It worked out. It was July, so I was like, I'm available if you need me.
And it was her birthday. We filmed on your birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday, which was so cool to be there. Yeah, for my birthday. But it was pretty early on. I remember it was a few months in advance. They were like, keep this week or 10 days open.
Yeah.
And then you'll just receive an email, I think, a few days before, maybe a few weeks. I don't remember the exact timeline.
Yeah.
And
they are like a well-oiled machine, the boys. They are like...
I mean, the flight was booked.
Sure.
They just needed your information. I got everything. My flight was booked. They were like, show up at this time. Don't be late. Don't bring this. And yeah, everything was... Even like down to transportation, everything was booked for you. They said what to say. You weren't allowed to say the voice that you were there.
Oh, yeah, we had a fake...
hotel.
We can't tell you, but there's a fake... name we operate. You can say that, but we can't tell you what it is. No, that's good too.
I don't know what to say.
You can't, because you can't walk around the hotel and be like, we're here for the voice. You know, so we have codes for things.
They were like, say this at the door, and I was like, oh, okay.
A lot of films film under like a fake name or something.
Yeah. Well, except everyone's playing like guitar and singing. You'd probably have an idea.
It's gonna be
of,
obvious
like,
at some point. Yeah.
I used to think that. I'm like, yo, there's 20 of you around the pool singing Tennessee whiskey. Like, we know you're here for the voice. Like,
wasn't there another show recording too?
Yeah, Big Brother was there. RuPaul's Drag Race was there for a while. You could just tell. We're all kind of walking around like,
which show are you on?
Where's this hotel? We should go stay.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Sounds fun.
But yeah, they had them at a different hotel. So I actually didn't see them until we do a day of filming before the blind, do all like the interviews and the BTS. A lot of us just like awkwardly walking down hallways and chatting about the coaches and
slow motion.
Exactly.
But it was
on a
quick.
treadmill.
We were only there one day, and they were like, "You're filming tomorrow. Get ready. That this time you're getting picked up." And then it was the day of filming. And then your audition was the next day.
Yeah.
So I think I was only there a total of 3 days because after the audition, you're sent right home.
Yeah.
They're like, "Thank you for being here. Here's your flight home."
We were out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you had to go back though, right? At some point, like once you knew.
Yeah, I was home for a bit, and then we went back for battles. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And then once you're out of battles, do you go home like the next day, or do you have to stay?
Once I was eliminated, I was next morning. I said, "You're all coming home."
Yeah. They just are like, bye.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Did you stay for knockouts?
Yeah, battles I stayed. After I won my battle, I stayed. And then, after knockouts. So, I was there I was there on and off from like May, like summer and fall, I always say.
And I was due October, so we were like, oh, I was like, you might miss it.
Wow.
Home like
right before he was born.
Yeah.
I have great videos of her the night of my blind, like very, very pregnant. With the time difference of New York, waiting up to find out like what team I was on.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know the hormones, so I was hysterical. And then my mom was like, I heard you scream.
And then they're like, don't tell anybody. And you're like, to the driver, don't tell them I told her.
The guy like driving us back to the hotel was like, I've got to call my family. Please don't tell anybody.
I'm sure everybody does it.
Yeah.
There's a code with Uber drivers, you know.
That's what I was like, do I have to pay you to not say anything?
Yeah.
That's great. I want to know what your plans are next. You just put out a music video, right?
I did, yeah.
Other Side, which is a song from 5 years ago, right? Is it a new music video?
Yeah, so I put the song out. I lost my dad in late 2019. And then I wrote the song pretty quickly after with my co-writer, Rocky Patera. It came out right before like March 8th. And I think the city shut down 2 days later. So I never really got to like perform it or really like, and then I always struggled to promote it because it was like, hey, here's like a really sad song that makes, it was like just sad.
It's beautiful though. It's such a good song.
Thank you. It was kind of like my family. We loved it. It was like kind of a little secret thing. And then after The Voice kind of really beautifully told my story of my dad and grief, it just felt, people were like, you should write a song about this. And I was like, I actually already did. And it's been out 5 years. I was like, I toyed with the idea of doing a re-release or like doing a different version. And then one of my collaborators is a videographer and he was like, let's do a music video. And then one day I came to his studio and we just sang it, cried, and put it out into the world the next day. Yeah. I'm very into like not thinking on things and overthinking them too much. I'm like, that's a good idea. I'm coming over.
Yes.
Let's do it. We could hem and haw. So I sound like an old lady. We can hem and haw for hours. And I'm like, no, this is good. Put it out.
You guys overthink it.
We're the overthinkers. She has none of
can't relate.
We're like, at night you don't think about like third grade, and she's like, I literally hit the pillow and fall asleep. I'm like, couldn't be me.
But yeah, it was nice to have that out and have something to kind of show from that time. And I got a lot of messages after my blind about grief and the things I had said and just like sharing the journey. I feel like a lot of people really connected with. So it was nice to then kind of give that to people too,
That's so nice.
Yeah, it's got to be like healing to be able to share it with other people, because sometimes I feel like grief is so personal and it feels so isolating that having a platform to share it amongst people who feel the same, like that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah. I was going to talk to my brother. I was talking to my therapist last week. Like this process has been very healing for grief in a weird way. I always say like after he died, then it was the pandemic. It was like, it for a while felt almost like not pointless, but you're like, well, why am I going to go after these big things if he's not there? And like my big thing was like making him proud. So it was this weird thing. And then finally getting The Voice and doing it was like, oh, I can still do these big, cool, and I still want these big, cool things, So I feel like now that it's come and it's happened, it was like, I don't know, it's brought some really cool closure.
Yeah. And you also have your cousins and all your other family members to share it with too, which is nice, you know, and I think, but it is that struggle for sure. I struggle with that myself in my own ways. I mean, my parents didn't pass away, but I don't really have a relationship with them. And sometimes I'll do big things and I'm like, man, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But it's finding that within yourself. Like, no, it's for me, you know?
Yeah. Which was a tricky thing to like find, you know, like for years you're like I'll be rehearsing a show and be like, oh, I can't wait for like mom and dad to come see this. Or like my grandma was like my biggest, I mean, all of us, but she was really like my biggest cheerleader. So it was like, oh God, like what's the point now if they're not, you know, but yeah, you find it within yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally relate. My grandma raised me, and like literally all my tattoos are for her. So, but yeah, no, I totally.
You're fitting great with us. Then we have the Love Our Dead Grandmas Club.
Mine's still alive, but she's moved away. She just like isn't. It's one of those things where you now have to take care of your parent versus, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I'm her mom now, and that support is very role reversed at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna switch it back up. Kelsey, she used her, what is that called? The replay on you, and that was the first time that anyone used the replay button that way, right?
Yeah.
Was that the coolest thing that ever happened?
Yes, but also I didn't know what it was at the time.
It seemed like no one on stage was really sure what was happening rules-wise.
Like, are you allowed to do that?
My whole blind is I love the caption on because everyone's freaking out. I'm like, what is happening? Because both seasons filmed at the same time, and the season before us was the first one to have the replay. So I didn't know what this was. And in every interview, I was like, you know, I feel like I love Kelsey. I just knew Kelsey. She's like an ally for queers and for queer artists, but also the queers. She loves the gays. You know, I'm like, I knew I would do well. Like, I get along with my blondes, my girls. Like, I just knew. So when she didn't turn, I was bummed, but I had a great connection with Michael. And they really, in blinds, it's like they remind you all you need is one chair. Like, if one chair turns, you did it. You're on the show. So, like... once Michael turned, I saw and heard nothing else. My brain was like, oh my God, like you did the thing. So when they said replay, I thought that meant like I was going to have to do the song again. So my first thought was I looked back at my mom and Sammy and was like, oh my God. Like I don't know once that day with nerves. I remember thinking like, am I going to get a glass of water? Will I be able to like sit for a second? Like,
oh my God.
So I was panicked. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do it again. And then actually they edited it out, you know, for TV, but John, like, I think could tell that I was looking a little stressed. It was like, so this is what the replay is. And then like, oh, and then that's when they were like, and by the way, it's never been used in this way before. Every time I was on that set, it's like you're inside your daydreams. And then I was already kind of in this like euphoric moment. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a TV moment right now. Like this is like a viral like moment. Like my brain couldn't comprehend. And it was just, yeah, it was crazy.
I don't know how you did it. I almost passed out, and I wasn't even performing. I don't know how you did it.
The reaction shots of her and my mom are like my favorite things to watch.
Carson Daly's like, I think Kelsey's about to use the replay. I'm like, what's that?
Watch. And then there's all this suspense of like, will he or won't he pick Kelsey? And I was like, no, I'm picking Kelsey. Like it was like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so they don't explain any of the new rules to why? Wouldn't you think that they would do that if they're so on top of everything else and have you scheduled down to like the T? Why wouldn't they tell you? Because like that's going to lead to really confused faces.
I think my personal opinion is that if I knew there was a replay and if there's a world where I didn't get chair turns, you weren't going to get me on that stage.
Yeah,
because I'm doing this once, so I would have been like, play it again.
Replay anyone?
High hopes, take two.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I think it would start a culture of people not leaving the stage. Like, what else you want to hear? You know?
Right.
Like the shock face when they do press the button.
Yeah.
Like finally realizing that you do get a replay. That's what I think.
I think there's a button. There is some semblance of what's going on, but I did think in the moment too that it meant I automatically went to her. So when Adam got up and was like, you look like you need help. Like, let me try to guide you, you know?
His guidance speech was the funniest thing.
And they actually cut a lot out.
Said nothing at all.
He was up there for like 20 minutes. They really shortened
Wow.
Yeah,
there was a moment where I turned back to them and was like, they both were like, you got this. And I was like, okay. Because, you know, you're on set early in the morning. I remember I auditioned. It was around like, last time I looked at my phone was like 7:30, 8-ish. So, like, it's like a long, long day of hearing people maybe get through, maybe not. Your brain plays.
You were one of the last two.
Yeah.
Which was, that was hard to wait.
Your brain, and everyone's like, updates. I'm like, I got nothing. Like, I'm just waiting. So yeah, but her using that was just like such a, to have someone of like her caliber believe in you that much, and like there really was that genuine aura energy connection was really, really cool.
Do you guys still keep in contact with coaches and stuff? I don't think I asked Darius this, but do you still have that connection or not really?
I
Is
do,
it not like a thing? See, that's so cool.
I've done this thing where I'm trying to not make it public, like keep it private, but I am. Yes, like we
can cut that out then.
Yeah, we can.
No, you can keep it in. You can keep it in. It's cool. I tried not, I don't like to flex it too much.
Because not everybody does.
Yeah.
Right. You got to be.
I don't know.
Not a big deal.
They did tell us like it's up to the coaches. They can follow you, give their number. There's no rule book for it, so there's no kind of expectation there.
Sure.
But I will say also getting that. I mean, I left the show and like I remember calling that night and I was like, I didn't win. But I did because like I got his number, So like,
Yes.
to me, it was like a trophy of like, oh, actually, I don't care. Like and she that night we talked. So yeah, she's been outstanding. Yeah,
that's wonderful.
It's like having a lifelong coach, not just like on the show, which is so cool.
Yeah,
I feel that way in like smaller ways. Like if I have somebody on the podcast, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have their number now. Like that's kind of neat. Like,
I will say for a podcast exclusive, she checked in. So I did all my viewing parties at Flaming Saddles, which is a gay country western bar in New York City. That's and awesome. It is also Kelsey's. Yeah, it's so good. It's also they were there, teachers on a Monday night. Can you imagine?
Maybe cut that. No, I'm just kidding.
But she knew so that's also her favorite bar in New York. Since she was first starting out, she would always go there after gigs in the city, events in the city. Yeah, and I knew that because at her MSG show in October, she brought the dancers and bartenders out from Flaming Saddles.
That's
and I
so
turned
cool.
to my friend Paige McKenzie, who was on Team Kelsey, and I was like, I want to have my viewing parties there. So I got a hold of the manager. I had some friends that worked there. So they threw these huge parties for me. I got to get up on the bar and sing, and Kelsey did a FaceTime in for one of them, which was very nice and very cool.
That's so fun.
There's some great pictures of us like, hey, and then the whole party like with their cameras out, like crowded over us. It's cool.
That's so fun.
That is so cool.
Really do you guys do you guys sing?
I do not.
I like to sing in the shower and stuff.
Actually, they both have
That's
good...
valid.
I was going to say, do you guys collab in any way or like do anything creative together?
Well, we used to, and that's actually a whole other chapter of our lives. I used to force them to do... Well, I forced her. She loved it.
I loved it.
We would do full-blown musicals in the backyard, in the closet, in the garage.
Yep.
Yeah.
When we were young.
Same.
Rehearsals were every day, 9 a.m.
Yeah, you give your perspective, then you give yours. And I'll give it
So I loved it. And, my mom would drive us. We would get, like, bagels on the way. We'd have to be there at 9 a.m. And we really would stay till, like, 1, 2. Like, when you're little, that's a long day.
Not long enough for me.
So I loved it. And... this one over here.
No, I'm just not like, I don't know, I'm not a singer, I'm not musical. So I was like, Mom, do I have to do this? She's like, you do for your cousin, like you can't break your heart. And I was like, it's my whole childhood summer, like at Danny's camp. Like I can't do this.
She's like, I just did my summer doing Wicked.
I'm like, my friends are at the beach. Like I don't want to. And then she was like, be nice. So finally, when I got older, I was like, can you just tell him? And
I was like in high school.
That's adorable.
But yeah, it was a lot. I mean, 9 to 1.
They were long days.
I wouldn't say it was forced. I guess it was, but
you got to rehearse.
Yeah, and then we sat him down. My mom's like, I think Sammy might sit this next one out. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, who's going to play Annie? Like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, maybe a small talent show, like something less involved. He's like, no, it's fine. Like, forget it.
He's like, they're all over. No more.
It's done.
I was like, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
We did a production of Wicked. She was fully green and, like, hoisted up in a den
with like a rope,
defying gravity.
We used green sunblock.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have footage of this? I need to see this.
No, and it's one of my probably the biggest regret of my entire life is that the parents.
Incredible.
It's got to be somewhere they used to have that camcorder.
Yeah, his brother would be
we thought he was
like the
recording.
stage manager,
yeah.
And he would do the fog machine, the lights, the karaoke tracks, like.
I mean, these are full-on performances. Not
and I also played every male role, so let me tell you, I was working.
Oh my god!
Well, not that it's a plant shop.
Oh yeah. There's definitely pictures somewhere.
Oh, you have to send those to me. I want to see.
That is one of those things. It's such a like you could not help yourself from creating something on that scale at all times. That's such an indicator of someone who's going to be a success in a creative field is when from the beginning they're doing that with no training, just like it just comes out of them. That's it.
It's like, why wouldn't we? She can sing, she can kind of carry some.
I would show up.
But you would like really print out like full scripts of like the whole play. Like we had to go home. We had homework. We had to go home and learn every lyric. Like nothing was cut. It was the full production of every musical.
I mean, you did the stage. He set up the audience chairs. The date would be booked in the beginning of the summer. Yeah. Every family member had to be there.
I remember one summer, one aunt was like, I think I have something coming up. And I was like,
you better put it in your calendar.
I'm out of here.
That's weird. Really did it to you 5 months ago.
You did it all though.
But they also, even though we got a little we outgrew it. Like they have always been like that, just like crazy supportive of like, I'm an actor now. I'm starting my own festival. I'm going to the voice. They always were like, yes, and we're here for you. We support you. Like they really like my rocks and like supports and everything.
Do you ever have any thoughts of going onto like Broadway or anything performance-wise since you're in New York City?
I always said I would do theater once I'm famous enough to do it on my own terms. Because I struggled with theater because it was so much of like you're not doing this right. Like you moved your arm, you have to do the same thing every time, and that's just not who I am. I need that like freedom. I feel like, And I feel like once I started doing music, once I like unlocked who I was like, I want to be this all the time. I don't want to do, but there's some roles I have my eye on, but I don't want to do any matinees.
That's fair. No, that's so real too.
The same thing twice in one day. That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
My best friend is a Broadway actress, and she's really into the idea of me doing the MC in Cabaret. So
I mean, come on.
I loved that show.
We just saw that. We saw that with
Did you see Adam Lambert or Orville Peck?
No,
he was out for the day, and it was a guy from Drag Race.
Oh, Marty.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes.
Marty, Marsha.
Yes. Oh,
Marty and I went to the same arts high school on Long Island.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So you have ins.
It's a very small
world.
You have
ins.
Wow.
That is true, actually. And actually, Orville Peck was at my second viewing party at Flaming Saddles. Because why wouldn't he be at the gay country western bar at Hell's Kitchen?
I cannot think of anyone who'd be more there. Yeah, you're right.
Orville Peck and Dasha were there, and she's amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so maybe I would like to dabble in it again.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I like that you said like you want to build up the clout so you can like negotiate what you want out of it. That's very
like Tadja Call. He kind of like I'm sure he auditions, and also he's like the hardest working person in show business. But he's always like he's in Chicago, he's in Kinky Boots. I'm like, okay, I can live. Brendan Urie, High Hopes. He was in Kinky Boots on Broadway.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Well, we just talked to Fierro, like the longest running Fierro, Jordan Litz.
Oh yeah, Jordan Litz.
On the podcast. His I think is coming out next, and it's interesting to like hear the whole stories about like Broadway and how it all works. And there's like a baseball league.
There's a secret Broadway baseball league.
Like crazy.
And the Wicked team like cleaned up this year.
Very crazy.
That sounds like my nightmare. Isn't that the point of that?
That's fair. Mine too, actually, now that I think about it. I came here to not play sports. Right. What are you talking about?
I work with, you guys know So Far Sounds? I think they're all over America now.
Yeah. I think Thesaurus Rex, Calvin was talking about
Oh,
them.
that place.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're just pop-up shows at like someone's apartment, a warehouse, a store I've done a show for them of acoustic original music at like a Brooklinen where I like sang on a bed and sang, some songs about getting into bed. So honestly, it worked nice. But I did one Friday at the flagship Wilson sports store, and they have in Soho, and they have a full basketball court in the store. So the show was set up on the basketball court. And the second I sat down, I was like, I don't feel great right now. I'm like, it feels like middle school and elementary school. I'm like, there's basketballs flying in, and we're on a basketball court, and I'm like, anyone want to hear some gay love song? I love it. I feel like I healed some trauma with that this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, I hated gym.
Same.
That was so bad.
Not a good time. So
they
Really? No, I hid behind people, and when they did that, they weren't allowed to call it dodgeball because it was dangerous, so they called it like avoid the ball, and then I would hide behind everybody.
Legally distinct.
Legally, yeah. Hated it.
Wow. I would love to know what you're working on next. What are your big plans in 2 years? What's the big thing you want to achieve?
So my next big goal is I want to be on tour opening for a bigger artist. That is what I'm really manifesting. But I have 2 new songs coming out this summer. Have a lot of fun, just opportunities that The Voice has unlocked. I'm doing my first national anthem in a stadium. That my one qualification was I need box seats for my family.
Yes.
I'm headlining my Long Island Pride, my hometown's big Pride festival. A lot of like cool appearance-y stuff that, just that level of gigs you can't tap into before being on national television. And then the new song's coming out, and then my goal is by the fall. I'm moving quick here. Time's flying. I would love to be on the road, like opening for a bigger artist, and just keep riding this wave.
Absolutely. Is there anyone specific you wanna manifest? Who do you want to be opening for?
Listen, I'm very open. Kelsey, I'm gonna send her a text. I really would love like an Orville Peck, a Lil Nas X, like another queer artist. I mean, probably dream right now would be Chappell Roan. I feel like that would be cool.
Yes.
But because I've been producing my own festival for so long, I was telling my friend that I have every different version of like a tight 20 set, like with a band, with dancers, acoustic, like whatever you want in that 20 minutes. Like, let me know the vibe and we're ready, so.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing, is to be ready and to be specifically ready for any situation. That is so good.
The other day I bought like the rhinestone jacket, and then I ordered it in 2 more colors because I'm like, well, if I'm on tour, I'm going to have to alternate the thing. Crazy.
I love how far ahead you think and how specific. That's amazing.
That's good, though. That is how things happen, man. Like, you have to really think ahead. If you don't think about it, then it won't happen.
You could quit your job and come with me, and you could do merch, and we could do whatever. Yeah.
Wait, can I come too, please?
Yeah, period. Bring the baby. We're all going.
She does want to do merch.
I want to do merch. I want to do communication stuff. Like, I want to do behind the scenes stuff. So
yes,
I'm available.
She's
the social media.
She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Between the 3 of us, one of us is good about, whether it's me or the baby, making sure we're getting video content.
Do you have a date for the next song coming out at all?
Not yet.
That's okay.
Okay.
Cool.
It's a secret.
We're looking forward to it. Yeah.
I will say one is very similar to Impossible from the show.
Okay.
Like a nice, big, meaty, emotional power ballad. And one is it's like a, like the anthems they would sing at like a baseball stadium, like a Put Me in Code, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Mm-hmm. That, but if it was gay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great elevator pitch for a song, too. That's amazing. I'm literally trying to do the math of like, what would that sound like?
Oh, they would sing it at the Broadway performance.
They would sing it at the Broadway baseball game.
Oh my God.
Gotta pitch
We're just manifesting full circle.
There you go. That's it. It's all connected. Well, thank you so much to Dan Kiernan for joining us, and Lindsay and Samantha. Watch The Voice season 27. Watch Dan's performances on there. They were incredible. Look out for 2 new singles from Dan coming this summer.
Well, or a secret release date. We don't know.
Sometime in the future.
Could be tomorrow.
Could be tomorrow. You heard it here. Tomorrow. If you like what you heard, you can head to Relatively In Tune Pod on Instagram, as well as everywhere else you get your podcasts. Check out Dan Kiernan on Instagram and Spotify and everywhere as well. I've been Dean DeMarzo.
And I'm Tori DeMarzo.
This is Relatively In Tune. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time